Welcome to the Accelerate and Grow podcast. This is our first one brought to you by Network Live, and we're super excited that you're here. I'm Catherine Pierce. This is Tab Pierce.
And we're excited about this. We kind of want to start off talking a little bit about maybe who we are. This first podcast episode.
Because some of you might not know who we are yet.
Yeah, some of you might not know who we are. And we just kind of want to, there's questions that people ask us, right?
Yes.
Like about Network Live, what happened to Networking Phoenix, who are you, what are you doing?
All that.
Tab are you really still in your 30s? I get that a lot,
Yeah.
Okay. Nobody says it.
No.
So why don't we introduce ourselves and maybe give a little bit of a background? So, how about this? How about if I start and I'll ask you like a interview question.
Okay.
And then you can go. So, how did you end up here? Because you were a 30-year stay-at-home mom raising our kids. You did a decent job. A couple of them are a little whack, but you did a great job. And then you helped my mom as she transitioned out of life. And then what? So kind of take it from there.
Okay. So after I helped your mom transition, I was like, I don't have anybody else to take care of. And side note, that is fabulous. I mean, I loved raising our kids. I loved taking care of my sweet mother-in-law. We had a great relationship, but it was just like I had this whole blank slate ahead of me, and I was ready to do something new. And so the opportunity presented itself to be able to work at 3PNT Security Recruiting. And I jumped in with both feet. I didn't know anything about recruiting or running a business or the corporate world at all, because obviously I had been at home, and I just wanted a new challenge. So I started there, and then within a few months had the opportunity to just take it over and run with it. And so that's what I did. I've been doing that for the last 5 years, and it's been a great ride, great learning experience, huge learning curve. And as a side note, a lot of tears, but that's the entrepreneur story, I think.
Yeah, and one of the things that I think was really cool about, when you decided to do this, we'd have conversations like, what would you do if something happened to me? And
Yes.
and your thought was, well, the last thing I did was retail. I guess I'd go out and do retail, or I could do something like that. And there's nothing against that. There's nothing wrong with that. But it wasn't until you changed your mindset and kind of went and looked at it and said, maybe I could do something more. Maybe I could lean into this and become a really good security recruiter. And after having no business experience at all, and I remember you sitting in a call and me being there as like moral support as you're talking to a chief information security officer at I think it was almost a Fortune 500 company. It was definitely an enterprise level client, and you're just over there going, duh,
I seriously thought I was going to throw up after that.
And that was that was your first one, and then you were just off to the races after that. So, I think the great moral of that story is that we can do some different things, right?
Yes.
And we can experience some real massive growth. Sometimes if we just get out of our own way.
Usually, if we get out of our own way.
If we get out of our own way. Yeah.
Yes. And my philosophy too, as I was a stay-at-home mom, and we had a very old-fashioned relationship. He was bringing home the bacon. I was taking care of things at the house, and fixing things and that kind of a thing. And so my go-to was always, if there's a YouTube video about it, I can figure out how to do it myself. So I use that same mentality with security recruiting. There are tons of people out there that have done information security recruiting, and I could go out and study what they have done. I can learn from them. I can watch YouTube videos and then make it my own.
Yeah, and bacon's a great transition.
Bacon is always a good transition.
Bacon's a great transition. And so sometimes I was really good at bringing home the bacon, and sometimes I wasn't very good at bringing home the bacon. I mean, it's kind of what happens over a 30-year period of time. And
36.
well,
It's been 36.
36 next month.
Yes.
But up to the point in time that yeah, okay, so 36 years. 36 years. You know, so my story, what led me to here, just kind of tie me into this, as opposed to making it all about you.
Yes.
Which is so rare. It's usually always about me.
I know, right?
By the time we get this thing, pull this back in, rein it back in, and bring it on about me. And, but I've had a 35-year career. I started off as a sales guy, just nailed the sales. I was incredibly successful. Did that great. Pretty much everywhere I went, I was almost always the number one sales guy, maybe number two, but normally I was at the top of that. And then I decided I decided several times to start a business, failed, came back, started selling, but then I started Caliber Security Partners, and that was going gangbuster, and that was the first time I really felt like I had arrived. And then we found that we were combined with Caliber and us personally, $1 million in debt.
Yeah, that was not a good day.
That was not a good day. But what's interesting is it was Naveen Jain, having that conversation with Naveen Jain, we were doing that conference 2.5 years ago when it was refiners. And we've got, I don't know, 100 people, give or take, in studio, 900 or 800 or so remote. And I'm having that fireside chat with him, where basically an interview one-on-one. And he chastised me, because I said, what happened was the worst day of my life. And he's like, no, don't say it's the worst day of your life. Because what you might think of as the worst day of your life might be one of the best days. And it was like right there in front of everybody that it just like flipped. And I went, wow, we paid off the debt
Yes.
in 26 months. We, our net worth did a flip to the other side. I'll just say that. But I wrote a book. I started another business. We did a conference, which ultimately, doing the conference led us to buy what was Networking Phoenix.
Yes.
And here we are. So from what really seemed like tragedy, something amazing happened. This sitting here
I know.
happened.
Who would have
right?
thought that we would ever do this?
We didn't see this coming,
No way.
right? So, let's jump into that. We acquired Networking Phoenix from Gelly.
Yes.
Don't make me say her last name.
I know. I can't
just
pronounce
I call
it
her
either.
Gelly.
Yes.
Gelliana, I think, is what she goes by now. But Gelly, we acquired it. Let's talk about that experience, because we get this all the time where people will say, like, so why did you buy it? Or recently a guy like,
And we've had those thoughts too. No, I'm kidding.
no, there's always that time when, it's like midnight or so, and, you've worked all day and like everything's,
Yes.
mainly me.
Or when we couldn't get the website to redirect from our
Oh, gee.
wonderful experience.
Yeah. But we had this just, or I was going to say, so this, I had somebody recently say, are you still happy you bought it? LOL. I'm like, what the freaking crap does that mean? So being me, I like, flex my muscles and like pop on it and just like, say something I shouldn't. I'm not going to say on camera. I didn't say anything bad, but inside my head, I was rolling pretty hard with it. But talk about why in the world did we buy this in the first place?
Well, it was fantastic. It's funny because we were up in Seattle. We decided to move here because we were tired of being cold
And wet.
and wet, and depressed. And so I could go on and on about that. That's a whole nother episode. But but we had this opportunity, and we jumped on it because it was like, why not? It's a great opportunity. It's a great opportunity for us to grow, and a great opportunity for us to be able to help other business owners or entrepreneurs level up in not only their mindset, but their growth and growing their businesses and excelling in all areas of their life.
And one of the main reasons is what we were trying to grow. In order to grow that organically, it would be very difficult to
Right.
just start from scratch and build it. And if you look at it just from one small aspect, yeah, I could understand how somebody would be like, why would you do that? But if you look at the level of credibility or influence or however, Gelly had built this great company,
Yes.
and we step in, and I mean, and we we have that, right? I mean,
Right.
we're I mean, there's challenges, right? I mean, there were challenges of like, what is it we bought?
Exactly.
What is it we want to be? Where do we want this to go? And can we move past the people that bought the company from Gelly, right?
Right, yes.
Because Gelly was this magnificent, strong personality.
Yes.
And then we show up, and we had some people that were like very welcoming, and others that were like,
We're out.
yeah, we're out, and we're like,
Which is totally
we're like,
fine.
see ya.
Yes.
And it's cool, right? I mean, it is what it is, and so, but we changed the name from Networking Phoenix to Network Live, and honestly, you know how it is. You look back and you're like, oh, that went smoothly, or that was a little clumsy. And this was, changing the name from Networking Phoenix to Network Live was a little bit clumsy,
Yes.
right? But we tried, because we're expanding into other cities. We've expanded into Salt Lake. We've expanded into El Paso, Texas, which anytime we tell people we expand into El Paso, they're like, El Paso, why? And it's like, man, because El Paso asked for us, and that place is hopping.
Yes.
The last mixer, we had 225 people out.
It was amazing.
It was amazing.
So much fun.
Yeah, and it's just a different experience than it is here. But we couldn't go into another city as Networking Phoenix.
Right. It doesn't make
And
sense.
so that's why we changed it. But we tried to toe that line for a while of like, we'll be Networking Phoenix and Network Live.
Yeah.
Finally, we were like, yeah, this
Forget
isn't
it.
working.
It's too confusing. Yes.
Yeah. So what are some of the changes? Because, as we've done these changes, some people have liked them and some people haven't liked them. And
Yes.
we've had some pretty, interesting experiences, but mostly we've had some really awesome ones, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's, there's only been a couple of, I would say, really like cranky people that don't like our new direction. But some of it is like us catching up on what the company was.
Yes.
And then we'd have these like aha moments. Like
with the passport.
yeah, talk about that.
Okay.
Like, that's kind of funny.
So
Because everything was built around the passport membership.
right, Gelly had everything built around the passport membership and being able, if you were a member of Networking Phoenix at the time, you would be able, that would give you a passport into other organizations or events for either free or at a discount. And we were probably a good full year into taking over and renaming Network Live and all that, when all of a sudden we're like heading home from somewhere, and all of a sudden we look at each other and we're like, passport. Oh, we probably should change that because we're not doing that model anymore. And it was just kind of funny that it took us a year to figure that out, that, oh yeah. And so we are taking it in a new direction. We're not doing, the other entry into other networking groups, or sometimes we do events, we partner with events, but it's really more about coaching, training, mentoring,
And
and
professional development.
professional development. Absolutely.
And so, like our passport members, because we still have legacy passport
Yes.
members, we still, give them access to, meeting people, networking, and experiences like that. But then we also have grandfathered them in as Mastery Alliance members.
Yes.
So some of them are in at Mastery Alliance at a freaking discounted,
Super discounted.
super
yes.
discounted rate. And, but not all of them are taking advantage of it.
Right.
But we're slowly but surely getting people to do that. And so, that whole change has been into things like Mastery Alliance, which Mastery Alliance, for people that don't know it, is the system that I used to take my company from $1 million in debt, or us $1 million in debt, to paying that off, and then I'll just say some substantial net worth growth
Right.
over that period of time. And it was a tool that was built. There's three parts to Mastery Alliance, three. And the first part is the opportunity pipeline, which I created specifically to guide us through debt recovery. And it was the ability to look at what we needed to accomplish at the end of the year, and then backtrack it down to the hour, and then live it forward. So we'd live it backward and then live it forward. And that was, that's what we did. And then once we were done paying off the debt, and I was like, I never have to use that tool again, I was so used to it that like 4 days went by and I went, I wonder if I could use this for growth. Instead of recovery, could I use it for growth? And then that was what like really opened up like the financial growth to us. I mean, was the opportunity pipeline. But then it became for Mastery Alliance, the opportunity pipeline, weekly accountability calls, and a 90-day training of how to mentally prepare yourself to tackle something amazing. And so that's like our first like real dive into like the professional development. But we're gonna do some other stuff too, which is kind of like the where you're going, like yeah. So where are we going? Where are we going?
The first place we're going is just establishing that we're kind of moving, that's what we're doing now, is we are training and coaching and professional development. And that, for example, at our mixers, we had a great mixer last night.
And that's
it was so much fun.
Yeah, that's a good point. We're not stopping the mixers. We're actually expanding them.
Yes, and they are a blast. And it's funny. So our son from Seattle moved here, and we encouraged him to go to the networking mixer last night. And he's a bit of an introvert.
A bit.
I'm being kind, and he was like not wanting to go because his only experience at a networking mixer was up in Seattle, and there's a reason they call the Seattle Chill the Seattle Chill.
It's the Seattle Freeze.
Oh,
but
Freeze,
close,
whatever. Okay. So anyway, but he like was smiling. He was talking to people last night.
You even had a good time.
He did, and that's what our mixers are for. They are not for passing out your business card to as many people as you can. They are for connecting with people and establishing and making long-lasting professional relationships.
Yeah, and that's what we're trying to get through to people is that you come, you build relationships, and you're going to create an opportunity where people like you, they know you, they trust you, and they refer you.
Yes,
right?
yes.
But when we first got it, there was a lot of that move. Here's your card. Here's your card, and we've tried to move away from that. And we hear it from people all the time. It's like we're bringing together some really great people at these mixers, and I always want to be careful because we've talked about how we want to get younger, right? And I don't want that to just come across as like we're looking to be the networking mixer of 20-year-olds, right? We're looking to be the networking mixer of people that are young at heart, people that still see the possibility, that
still want to grow,
people that want to grow.
Yes.
Like the one guy one time that sent the nasty email that basically said, I don't like the direction you're going, and he's like, I've been doing this for 50 years and I don't need training.
Be nice.
And me being me, I'm like, you've been doing it for 50 years. You dang well need some training because you shouldn't be still doing it after 50 years. I can't, me, I have a hard time. It's like, somebody draw a line in the sand, I might like step over it. So I try not to, but that's why we're a partnership, right?
Yes.
Because I'll be like, Catherine,
you want to go bad?
I want to flame somebody. Can you handle this?
But it's really about having a growth mindset, wanting to keep progressing in life and not just being satisfied with where you're at.
Yeah. And so that might be a great like segue into the conference that we're doing, right? Because There's this like sometimes there's this disconnect, right? It's like we have 8 amazing speakers.
Yes.
And the speakers, Naveen Jain, who came to the U.S. with $5 in his pocket.
Yes.
Now worth multi-billions.
Has started and sold several companies.
Started and sold several companies, and he's an active friend and participant in what we do at Network Live. There's Chris Carlisle, who's becoming an active, supporter of what we do at Network Live.
Yes.
Who's the only person to win 6 titles in football, one at high school, I believe every level of college,
Uh-huh.
and a Super Bowl ring with the Seahawks. I know there's this heavy Cardinals
Following, yes.
but as the strength and conditioning coach of there, we've got Shea Hillenbrand, who is just plain fire.
Yeah.
And that guy is one of the best motivational speakers around.
Yes.
And he's a big time friend of Network Live.
Yes,
and,
he is.
And that sometimes, if people are used to seeing him, this is going to be him unfiltered, not in a fireside chat way.
Yes.
And it's going to be nuts. Karen Worstel, who is a 3-time C-level at Fortune 500 companies, is going to talk to people about how to like lead a life of like really develop a long way, but and almost like live to the point of burnout, but don't flame out.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you get the most out of your life without flaming out? So she'll talk about that.
We've got Coach Michael Burt,
Coach
who
Michael
has a
Burt.
$20 million coaching business. He's just
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, and the cool thing about Coach Burt is that he is, if you're a coach or if you want to get the most out of yourself, and that's it. I mean, the conference is Accelerate Business Growth Summit, and that's what it is. And he's perfect for it because he gets the most out of people.
Yes.
And we love Coach Burt
We
so
do.
much that we named our dog Michael Burt, and we call him Coach.
Yes.
90-pound pit bull named Coach. He has more hair than Coach Burt, but
Yes, he does,
that's
yes.
another. And then Michael Burnoff.
Michael Burnoff, yes.
And
he's
you're a
favorite.
huge Michael
Huge
Burnoff
fan.
fan. So
Yes.
talk about Michael Burnoff if people don't know about him.
Okay, Michael Burnoff is the founder and creator of the Human Communication Institute here locally in Scottsdale. He speaks all over the world. He trains and coaches people not only in how you communicate with others, but how you communicate with yourself and how you can just make little tweaks in the way that you think and talk to yourself that can really impact how your perspective, how you look at things, how you view the world, and how you can incorporate changes into your life. And he talks a million miles an hour, way faster than I do. And I love it because it's like I'm like trying to catch up in my brain to what he's saying, but he's just fantastic, great speaker, and he really makes you just kind of stop and go, oh, and you won't think about that situation or that experience the same again moving forward, and it's just fantastic.
And I say this all the time. It's like Michael Burnoff is one of the few people that when he talks, I like flip into student mode.
Yes.
Instead of anything else. Obviously, our MC Dave Walter. He's gonna be a guest here pretty soon, right?
Yes.
I mean, a guest on the podcast.
Yes.
I freaking love that dude.
I do too.
And
He's
so I'm
so
excited.
great.
I'm excited about that. You're going to be a speaker.
Yes.
And that's going to be, I'm excited to hear what you're going to talk about.
I'm excited to hear what you're going to talk about.
I'm excited to figure out what I'm going to talk about. Did we miss anybody? I feel like we missed
see.
somebody.
Karen, Michael,
Yeah.
Coach Burt, Chris Carlisle.
Well,
Shay.
I feel like we missed somebody. But anyway, yeah,
Yes.
there's somebody. There's a special guest speaker in there.
No, that's right. And then, yeah, you, me, and Dave.
Okay, maybe there's not, but we're gonna talk. We're gonna announce some pretty cool stuff at the conference.
I'm excited. It's going to be super
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, and we're gonna announce some different things like retreats, some smaller summits.
Training
some
programs.
training programs, and like we're gonna do a we're gonna do a couple retreat.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
You can hear all of my secrets of how I put up with him for 36 years.
But really, in all seriousness, I mean, things like that, and everything that we're going to do, and we're gonna train on and work on, and that it's either going to be something that we really, really know,
Yes.
like for me, things like business recovery, how to get the most out of yourself, how to master yourself, how to have that accelerated growth. Those are things that I know.
Yes.
Things like you and me about how, about almost how to be your own best power couple.
Right.
Not try to be a power couple as the world sees it, but your own best
Yeah.
power couple. And then we got some other stuff, and I hope. I have this habit of like we come up with this idea, and then
Usually you.
okay, and I run with it, and then it's like, can I get it developed in time for the conference?
Yes.
And so we're going to announce something at the conference called Coach Coins.
You're announcing it right now.
No, but they don't know what it is.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay. And if we can get it developed, it's going to revolutionize networking and what we're doing as an organization.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
I know, I'm too.
I'm excited because if we can pull it off, I know we can pull it off, but you know how it is, that vision inside your head versus what
Yes.
you end up seeing in that?
Well, also the timing
Yeah, yeah.
in getting
the
that
timing,
done.
The timing.
Because everybody wants everything done yesterday.
Yeah.
So,
So if anybody sees this, and then I got a question for you, and then you can ask me the question. But if anybody sees this, they go to theacceleratesummit.com
yes. Yes.
and they can get tickets. Or if they're interested in sponsoring, they can talk to us about sponsoring.
Yes, we are still looking for-
Theacceleratesummit.com. Okay. So
And it's going to be on September 30th at the
September 30th.
Scottsdale Resort at McCormick Ranch. So it's a fabulous venue, too.
yeah, September 30th. I don't know why we keep forgetting to talk about that. So here's my question, then maybe I can answer it. Because we want to ask this question, as we talked about it on, earlier, because we want to get some level of, you don't like the word wisdom because wisdom makes it sound like old people. I just used it. Yeah. But how do you go about, how do you go about accelerating and growth?
When I'm thinking about doing something that I haven't done before, because that's really the only way you can grow, is doing something that you haven't done before or challenging yourself to do it at a different level. If I get that feeling in my stomach, I lean into it, and I know that that's what I need to do. And I mean, putting on this conference, has been a huge, oh my gosh, what are we doing? But at the same time, super, super exciting and super just amazed at being able to, for all these people to come together that want to help people accelerate and become the best that they can be. And so for me, I am embracing leaning into that uncomfortable feeling and that, I really don't want to do this, but making myself do it anyway. And over the last 5 to 10 years, I've had a lot of growth because I've leaned into it, which is not comfortable, but you get used to feeling that feeling. And that's like my go light. I know that that's what I need to do.
That's awesome.
So what about you?
So for me, everything starts with the ability to visualize. And you know how much much
Yes.
I visualize everything. It's like I have this belief that I live my life twice.
Right.
I see what it is I want to accomplish. I visualize what it is I want to accomplish. Then I create what it is in the future, what I expect it to be, like this conference. We come in, we create this conference, and what we see it, I live that conference and what that experience is going to be like over and over and over again. So when we show up to that conference, I've already done it dozens and dozens and dozens of times. Once I create that, then I go back and say, in order for us to have that experience, we have to do these things this month. In order to get that done those months, we have to do these things
This
this
week.
week, and then this day, even down to the hour. I need to do these things, this hour. And when it gets down to the hour, it's like the sausage being made. It never ever comes out perfect. I
Right.
want the day. And the Fast Company did this survey that 41% of people complete their to-do list, and I think it trickles down to about 10% of the year's goals
Right.
or objectives actually get accomplished. And then when I first heard that like floored me, because I'm shooting for 80 to 90% of every day, of every week, of every month, and every year. And so, the advice I would give to anybody is, just, and we're not even managing to-dos. We're managing, your life that you want.
Taking the steps forward to reach your objectives.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, this is fun. For the first one,
Yes, this has been really
I
fun.
had a good time. And so who's the co-host?
You are.
I'm the co-host. Well, I appreciate you having me on as your co-host.
Thank you for coming.
And I'm looking forward to doing more of these in the future.
I am too. So we're going to leave you with this question. And that is, how do you accelerate your growth? What are the things that you do to lean into becoming the best version of yourself?
Yeah, great question. And I get to close this out, right? Because
Yes.
you started out. Thank you for being part of the Accelerate and Grow podcast. We hope you'll join us each week as we get better and being able to say our closeout and other things too. We're excited about seeing where this goes in the future.